Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. And as you can hear, I'm a little bit croaky. I've got a little bit of a cold. So today what I'm going to look at is Marc Bolan and T-Rex, and I'm going to take a specific set of albums from a CD collection and run through them. Now in the 1980s and the early 90s, Marc Bolan's 72 to 77 catalogue was owned by John and Shan Bramley, and they released quite a few things on the Marc On Wax label. Some of them were a little bit controversial. Like the first one came out in 1982 and it was Billy Super Duper, and it was basically the 1977 unreleased tracks, which were pretty good, but they did add a few wee bits of strings here and there. And then in 1983 they released Dance in the Midnight, where they took demos for usually most of them from around 73, 74, and they really did put on extra instruments, and I actually do like that album. However, the worst one was in 1985 when they released Till Dawn, where they took about 9 tracks and asked Bill Legend to come in and overdo his drums again with different drum fills, and it sounds terrible. However, in the early 90s, 1990 to 1992, they released 4 albums, the Rarities albums, Rarities 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to go through those today. So we'll take a look at these, and we'll have Rarities 1, which was released in 1990, Rarities 2, which was released in 1990 as well, and I got these at the time, and that was it. I thought they only did 2, but then I found out that they had done 4. However, this one here is Rarities 3, which I picked up in the past 6 years or so. And the thing about this one is it's actually subtitled Savage Beethoven, and that was an album I was looking for because I had bought this album here. This is the Greatest Hits, which charted in 20th Century Boy, got back into the top 20 with that Brad Pitt jeans ad. And this one says that the song Plateau Skull, previously unreleased, to feature on the forthcoming album Savage Beethoven. And I tried every record shop, never saw it, even asked to get it ordered, and in those days they had a huge big book that they pulled out and looked, and it wasn't there. But it was actually Rarities 3. And then the last one is Rarities 4, which I recently picked up. Now these are all very good albums, and it's all rare stuff. It's home demos, it's in the studio demos, it's different versions of different songs, it's songs you've never heard before. However, most of them are now available elsewhere, but at the time this was the only place you could get them. Whenever Edzell took over around the mid-90s, they released a set of Unchained albums, 8 volumes of them, and most of these songs are on those Unchained, and if they're not, they're on the alternate series that Edzell released of each of the albums. So for example, Rabbit Fighter is the alternate Slider, Left Hand Look is the alternate Tanks, etc. Now these are nice to have, but they are very basic, and they've all got the same covers but different colours, and this is Rarities 1, and this has some really good songs on them, which I would actually have liked to have brought in a band for them to make decent full-blown recordings of them. For example, the track Over the Flats, I thought, how on earth was that never ever issued or worked on to become an album track? Mr. Motion I knew about because I think it was a single with a compilation from Some Country, and I always remember seeing that. Meadows of the Sea is gorgeous. That would have sat beautifully on the T-Rex album, or even Electric Warrior. Alligator Man is a really good little sort of rock and roll piece, really nice. This Is My Life is one of those sort of bowl and bop type things, very very good. I'm Coming to Rock and Roll. A couple of songs like Fast Punk City Port, which is an early version, was later recorded with Gloria Jones for the B-side of To Know You Is To Love You, or to know him is to love him. Not to know you is to love you. A Tenement Lady, Broken Hearted Blues, God on Tanks. Very, very good, but as I say, they're very basic, and it's on the Marc On Wax label. I think that's Turning Colour. I must play it and see if it still plays, but there's nothing in the inside. It actually gets worse. It turns into a card for the rest of them. Well, I think the third and fourth are just cards. So the second one, I think, is mostly stuff recorded in 1973 for the Zinc Alloy album, and we'll check if this is a, yeah, it's the same. So no information at all. So is this CD rot? Because that one there has got very gold as well. I'll be playing this after the video. And we get Liquid Gang, Super Bad, Saturation, Syncopation, which I believe is a different version of All Alone. All of My Love, Nameless Wilderness is down here. I think it meant to be Nameless Wildness. Saturday Night, Satisfaction Pony, Cards by the Smith, Painless Persuasion, Down Home Lady, Midnight, Teenage Dream Parts 1 and 2. The Teenage Dream is very similar to the ordinary version, but with the strings taken away, and you do get that little bit at the end, which was often put on the early reissues of the actual album. But this is Zinc Alloy without all the massive production. It's really in the studio, and it sounds good, and it shows Zinc Alloy could have been a half decent album. Next we have Rarities 3, which is the Savage Beethoven album, and this starts off with Hope You Enjoy the Show. And yeah, I did making Zinc Alloy a double album, and I opened the album with this. I think it's very bluesy, but it's pretty good. Lock Into Your Love is a track that I think Marc should have used. He kept on going about how his music was now interstellar soul or cosmic soul or whatever. This is a real funky groove, and I don't think he had the nerve to release it. He should have. It's great. Plateau Skull, bluesy number, as said on the greatest hits, is included. Honey Don't, a version of a song I just do not like. I don't like the Beatles version. I don't like Carl Perkins' version. Bolan's Blues, nothing brilliant. Sky Church Music is the music to Zip Gun Boogie, and yeah, it's very, very basic, very simple, and it's how would I put it? It's very gospelly, but there's nothing to it. Bolan's Zip Gun itself is Theme for a Dragon, but with words. Bust My Ball is catchy and could have got on the Futuristic Dragon, no problem. Savage Beethoven's decent track. I believe if that had been worked on, that could have been a hit single for him. Reeling and a Rockin' and a Boppin' and a Bowlin', which is a little rap type thing, and then you get this 11:15 jam, which that's all it is, it's a jam. And the inside of this one is just an inlay card, that's it. So they went even scarcer with that release. And then the last one is Volume 4, and this came out in 1992. And this is possibly my favourite of the lot of them. It starts off with Futuristic Dragon intro, which is similar to the album version, however is not quite as much in it, if you see what I mean, instruments. Funky London Childhood is a really good version of the song, and that obviously morphed into Visions of Domino. Solid Baby, Funky Baby is a very basic demo of the track Solid Baby. It's just him on electric guitar, there's no overdubs, and it just goes to show how simple it actually was. Video Drama is a track that there's not much to it, it's just a sketch of an idea, but I think if that had been worked on, it could have been a really good song. Pain and Love is a very nice demo of the track on Dandy in the Underworld. Light of Love, I think this version, which is also on Precious Star, the alternate Zip Gun, is better than the single version, even though it's just a demo. And then you get things like Electric Lips, Sting Me Baby, which incorporates bits of Madonna. Metal Guru, which is on Rabbit Fighter, the alternate slider, is a more laid back version of the song. Get Down, Metropolis, Incarnate, and then the last track is the classic Rap, which I think if it had been worked on, it would have been a big hit single. I think it's really, really good, and it's very new wavy, but it was just left behind. So those are the four Rarities albums from Marc On Wax. I may do videos on the ones I showed on the wee picture with the alternate series, maybe rank the alternate albums, because they are slightly different to, obviously, to the original albums, but there's only six of them, although I might include the Electric Warrior sessions as well. But that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.